Greetings and welcome to the Dare to Create show with Dr. Mitzi Linton. We're here today on location in beautiful Mesa, Arizona with Dr. Patrick Porter of Porter Vision. Now Dr. Patrick, as I must get his title correct here, is the author of 4 phenomenal books: 6 Secrets of Genius, Awaken the Genius, which has been used in many universities and colleges around the world in tapping into awakening people's genius. I Discover the Language of the Mind, and his latest, Thrive in Overdrive. But that's actually not what we're here to talk about today. Although I encourage you to get Dr. Porter's books, we're here to talk about something that Dr. Porter invented called the creative visualization and relaxation technique. Now I'd like you to explain for us, first of all, welcome Dr. Porter. It's wonderful to have you on the show today. Tell us about creative visualization and relaxation.
Well, what we've done is, over the years, my father was a hypnotherapist and a mind trainer, so I was brought up with visualization techniques. And what I found over and over again was people saying, I can't visualize, I'm not doing this very well. So my effort was, how can I create a system of training people how to use their full capacity of their mind, their potential, to not only picture images, but to get inside their own head with like a holographic view of things. And that's really what creative visualization and relaxation differs. While relaxing the body, really creating this field of energy, if you will, in their mind that allows them to visualize what they want, whether that be pain-free surgeries or improving their game of golf, or like working with, I was working with an Olympic hopeful in gymnastics. In every sport, everything we do in life, we visualize first, but a lot of times we do it by default. We don't even think about it. We rehearse it in our mind, maybe as a failure, but we don't know about it. Then when we show up and we fail, one of my favorite sayings is, you get what you rehearse in life, not what you intend. And so you can have the best intentions, but if you haven't sat down and really fully used your mind, which means picture it, hear it, experience, really get into what they call in neurolinguistic programming a full sensory experience. Once you get into that full experience, now you're living from the inside out, and your brain doesn't know the difference between real or imagined. And that's really, I think, what sets it apart from just the run-of-the-mill guided imagery programs that are out there.
Excellent. Well, I want to come back to a couple of things you tapped on, and that was the medical and the sports in particular. But I want to ask you about something that you have also, that you're using to enhance this, which is the Zen frames, which not only puts people in the full sensory experience, but it does something else. So can you explain the scientific background behind that?
Yeah, actually a long time ago on a planet far away, in 1986 in Scottsdale, right up the road here, I was with a group and we created the very first portable light and sound machine. And I was blown away by it because as a therapist, I'd have people saying, I didn't feel like I was relaxed, I'm not able to visualize. And when I was introduced to the light and sound technology at that time, it was $10,000 for a piece of equipment. But what I found was, instead of having 50% of my clients going, oh, I don't know, blah, 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 I was having like almost 100%, 90% of the people saying, I love this stuff. I really want it, but they couldn't afford it because it was $10,000.
I'm going to stop you for one moment, Dr. Porter. What exactly is light and sound? Because some people may not know what that is.
So what happens is you wear goggles, and while you have the goggles on, your eyes are closed, it's going to work with the optic nerve, and it's synchronized with sounds, which are binaural beats. And what happens is it's going to take the brain from being wide awake, which is beta, that's our reactionary mind. So if somebody's listening and they have a reaction to what I'm saying, that's their beta consciousness. And that's normal, by the way. We're always questioning things. And then what happens when we get into a state of relaxation, the machine takes you through light and sound technology, and we have 4 different technologies we use. We also use the music technology for alpha brainwave patterns. So the next brainwave pattern is alpha. So it's going to synchronize through light and sound, and we couldn't do this before with computers, because now the computer chip actually knows the right sequence and order. It's all been researched very well with biofeedback equipment and how the brain really works. So you're going through a cycle of sleep. But instead of just going into delta, which is deep sleep, and going to sleep, we're going to keep you in theta, which is the state where most people can't even go. But every night we go through it to go to sleep, we wake up, we go through it, and you have what's called hypermnesia, which is super memory during those states. So if you've ever woken up in the morning and you heard a song on the radio, maybe you didn't really even like it, but it's stuck in your head all day, that's because it's in that place in your brain that we remember everything. So the nice thing about using the equipment is you can plan now when you're going to be in that state of hypermnesia. So you can then program your mind yourself. We say become a software engineer for the human mind.
And so that's what Zen Frames does?
Yes, it gives you the opportunity to get discretionary access to your subconscious.
So the light and sound machine has actually evolved into this process now
Yes.
of Zen Frames with the putting people with the sound as well as the light. And I hear that you have these in hospitals and doctors are using this. Talk to us a little bit about how that's benefiting people who are undergoing surgeries.
Well, we have a pre and post surgery program, especially for people who are getting laser treatments, where it's only a 5 or 10 minute process or procedure, so they're not going to put them out.
Right.
And so they put the equipment on, the procedure is done, and most of the time they don't even know what's happening. The reason for that is in the state of alpha and theta, there is no pain. Your threshold for pain went up because your brain releases those endorphins and brain chemicals. The serotonin, which is the part of the brain, when you're feeling it, you feel really happy and euphoric. When you're on the light and sound equipment, just one 20-minute session is equivalent to about 4 hours of sleep, but it also pumps your serotonin up about 23%. So you're feeling good. And then it gets rid of excess adrenaline, so that stress that we hold on to during the day is gone. And most people don't know this, but when you're stressed out, you've really exacerbated any pain in the body. So when you start to relax those muscles, ligaments, and tendons, then what happens is the body can function perfectly. And by functioning well, the body goes into homeostasis, which is balance. Our body has an intelligence. It knows how to heal itself. But if we're stressed out and worried and have anxiety, then we're going to stand between our healthy self because we want to control it through our physical self.
So this would be very beneficial to someone who's getting ready to have surgery. To listen to this before they have the surgery would be extremely beneficial, and then in the recovery time it seems like that would put someone in the optimal place to recover.
Yeah, well, most people don't know you're in a hyper state of awareness when you're under the gas, you know, for surgery, but you don't know what they're saying to you. So why not pump your head full of positive information and be thinking about healing your body during that time? And they have shown that when you're using these visualization techniques, that you don't need as much of the anesthetization. So your body, the faster you get the anesthetization out of your body, the faster you can begin to heal your body. So some people, we've actually helped people who are allergic to the anesthetization to go through the surgery without any anesthetization at all. That's possible. We have a program for stress-free childbirth. And I developed this for pregnant teens. And the funny thing was, these teenagers everybody's telling them it's going to be terrible, you're going to be in all this pain. I remember one girl telling jokes in between contractions because she was relaxed. She knew her body was going to do what it's meant to do, and she went through it without any discomfort. Not everybody's going to go through it without any pain, but a good number of people will have a reduction in pain, if not totally pain-free.
That's amazing. So the medical community is jumping onto this. So this is something that you might want to consider or share with your friends. Also, I want to talk a little bit about the sports enhancement, because you've had some Olympic athletes and some people who are getting ready to try out and things like that. And how can it enhance someone? We're in the capital of golf, I believe, here in the world.
Yeah.
In fact, if you look behind us, there is a golf course right there.
Yeah.
So how can it enhance someone's sports?
Definitely. Well, what happens in a game of golf, for instance, is people go out and buy an $800 driver, but they haven't done anything about the 3-pound universe that's controlling the game.
Right?
They go, I just need this new piece of equipment, I need this new gadget.
Yeah.
And maybe they do need some lessons.
Yeah.
But what we do is, when you're relaxed and calm, and most golfers can identify with what they call a throwaway hole, which means when you're playing around a golf, you score a 7 or 8 or whatever on that hole, and then the rest of the round you're doing good. So if you could just control that one round. So we go from teaching you how to manage your own state to manage your golfing state, to just making the right golf choices. You know, when you look at the pros on television, the difference between a pro and an amateur is what they do in their mind more than anything else. And of course they hit 300 to 500 golf balls a day. So the weekend warrior that gets all frustrated, what we do is we help you. We have worked with pro and semi-pro golfers, but most of the people that buy our system are just the everyday golfer that goes out on the weekend. And it's really about having fun. Because if you can have fun, remember your good shots, you're going to improve. There's been so many people who have emailed me or talked to me and said, hey, I've won my club membership, because they were that good, but the only difference between them and their partner, the guy that's in their club that's beating them, is that guy remained calm under pressure. So, and every sports athlete knows that, it's a head game at some point.